A girl named Anna Nix, who plays the cello in her room, suddenly has her perpetually drunk stepfather enter and violently hit her on the cheek. He then starts harassing her. She kicks him away, causing him to crash into a nightstand, and the shards of a broken vase pierce his throat, killing him instantly. In court, she claims it was self-defense, but her mother screams that her husband would never harm his daughter, leading to Anna being sentenced to 4 years in a strict juvenile detention center. Along with other inmates, she's brought to the prison where they prepare for confinement and are given orange uniforms. The prison warden, Frank, welcomes the inmates and emphasizes that they must strictly obey the guard's orders. Anna is assigned to share a cell with another inmate named Ginny. Ginny is introverted and prefers reading over socializing. She tells Anna that she has been there for 5.5 years. The next day, during a walk, they approach a group of inmates who are hostile towards Anna. But Cody, the group leader, intervenes and warns them that the other inmates are true monsters. According to Cody, Anna won't last long, but she advises her to be kind and cautious because gentle souls don't survive here. In the cafeteria, Anna is approached by Cody again, who offers her protection since many are already eyeing her. Anna just wants to be left alone and walks away from the table. Later, Cody and her gang catch Anna in the storage room and beat her up, warning her that if she talks, they will kill her. Nurse Jane explains to Anna that the prison is a terrible place and that the people here are very cruel. Jane suggests that Anna seek help from Warden Frank as she encounters serious problems. Anna goes to the warden and asks for his help. Frank tells her that the only way to avoid violence is solitary confinement, but he doubts she can handle it. However, he offers another option, protection in exchange for a favor. Anna rejects his offer and decides to return to her cell. She cries in her bed, and Ginny comforts her, revealing that she has been through all of this herself. Ginny tells Anna that she is very beautiful, and they share a tender kiss. They make love and fall asleep together. During a literacy class, Anna is constantly stared at by a dark-skinned girl. During a walk, the girl intimidates Anna and mocks her. Fed up with the bullying, Anna decides to ask for help from the gang. One member blocks Nix's way and then attacks her, but Nix fights back hard. Cody respects her bold moves and is now ready to take the new girl into the gang. The girls bring Nix to their room where there's a TV, alcohol, and prohibited substances. They explain that all of this helped them get through their ordeal with Frank in return for mutual favors. Cody orders them to beat up the dark-skinned girl who had been tormenting her. The girls plan to film the incident on a phone. Nix bravely confronts her tormentor, and soon the guards intervene. As punishment, Nix is stripped and thrown into solitary confinement for 2 weeks. A few days later, Frank takes the girl out of the cell and promises to spare her from further punishment if she pleases him. She reluctantly complies while feeling disgusted. Soon, the girls give Nix her first tattoo and offer her drugs. Cody confesses that she really likes her. Anna's mother visits her in prison and still believes that her daughter was not abused. She cries and screams, calling her father a monster who did this to her. The mother slaps the girl in the face and leaves, saying goodbye to her. The next day, the dark-skinned girl and her gang attack Cody's gang. The guards intervene and separate the prisoners. Nix is taken back to Frank, who reveals that he set up the dark-skinned troublemaker to be in solitary confinement for 2 weeks. Frank offers Nix prohibited substances and takes advantage of her when she returns to the cell. When she starts questioning her cellmate, Ginny refuses to talk because she is high. Nix slaps Ginny and immediately tries to apologize for the bruise on her face. Tired of what is happening, Nix starts using substances constantly. She argues with Cody and the girls force her to leave the room. Nix tries to make amends with Ginny, but she rejects her while taking prohibited substances. Cody sees this and asks Nix to come to her senses, but she only responds rudely. Cody yells that she is no longer under their protection and leaves. The next day, the dark-skinned girl and her gang beat up Nix again. She becomes more dependent on powerful drugs. She sees intense hallucinations and contemplates ending her life. In rage, Nix attacks the dark-skinned girl again, provoking a massive fight and ending up back in solitary confinement. After a few days in solitary confinement, Nix breaks a plastic tray and uses a shard to cut her vein. One officer sees this and manages to save her life. She regains consciousness in the psychiatric ward after some tests. She asks to see her mother. Finally, her mother admits that she knew how terrible her stepfather was and asks for forgiveness from her daughter. After some time, Frank allows Nix to return to her cell despite the pain. She removes the tattoo that Cody had given her. She reconciles with Ginny, finding pleasure in each other again. In the cafeteria, Cody's gang taunts Nix. One of them approaches her and smears food on her face, while there is no one else around to protect her. The chief calls Nix to his office, wanting her to perform in the prison talent show. In the corridor, Cody catches up with Nix and cuts her face with a razor for daring to remove their villainous tattoo. They beat Nix up further, stepping on her hands, so she can't play an instrument when Frank comes to prison hospital. Nix confesses that she was beaten by Cody. Later, she tells Dr. Jane about Warden Frank, who constantly forces her to satisfy himself while he watches through cameras. After a couple of days, inmates attack Dr. Jane. She bursts into Warden Frank's office, declaring that she will tell everyone about his violence against inmates. As soon as Jane leaves his office, Frank orders them to get rid of Jane. Cody approaches an inmate with others repeatedly stabbing Jane with a knife. Nix plays cello in a talent show, managing to make inmates fall in love with her music, after which Frank tells Nix there will be a hearing for parole next week, stating he will take her side. Ginny explains again not to trust Frank as he constantly lies. Soon Nix receives a letter about parole hearing, realizing Frank will most likely deceive her, asking Cody for help, seeking revenge on Warden Frank. Cody gives Nix a phone, telling her discreetly record video when with Frank. When Nix enters his office, he orders him play flute so he can speak up for hearing while secretly recording everything on phone. The next day, hearing begins, where Nix tells judges she regrets what she's done. However, Frank breaks his part of deal, declaring Nix as flagrant violator should remain in prison. Commission is about to deny parole, but stops them showing video shocking everyone watching clip, leading Warden immediately arrested for harassment in corridor where angry inmates viciously attack him. The next day, Commission finally grants early release for great work on street, where joyful mother welcomes daughter after some time. Nix plays cello at big concert as film ends.